Good afternoon, everyone. I hereby open the Board of Zoning Appeals to discuss this variance request that's before us. Mr. Vernovic.
I'll go very quickly if I can, and I have something and I'll pass it out, but I think the advertisement does describe that the property in question is a 55 or 50-foot wide lot, and it is actually a surrogate of a lot. So you know, in that part of town, was subdivided in 1894. That whole part of town, all the way up into Luke and Fall Streets, were all subdivided and around ViewMac and all that sort of thing. The subject property is on 3rd Street, between Amelia and Freeman. Okay, there are 2 homes under construction currently, if you go by there and look at it. The lot in question is in between the 2. There's actually 75 feet in between, but the applicant does not own one of those lots. He owns 2 lots, okay? He owns 50 feet. And I think we discussed some time ago, you may remember, that we've had several of these come up over on Dillard Street. We've had probably, I would say 4 or 5 of these very similar type requests on these very narrow lots. In the subdivision ordinance, a new lot in the R2 district would require a lot 80 feet wide. A new lot would have to be 80 feet wide if it were to be cut. And the side yard setback would have to be 15% of 80 feet, okay? So 15% of 80 feet is 12 feet, okay? So that's kind of the standard I've been working with everybody, is to stay to 12 feet, and that's why he's proposing I wouldn't say it's totally a shotgun house, but it's 26 feet wide and 38 feet deep, okay? And he is proposing a 12-foot side yard setback. And we had talked about these kinds of things. I think the BZA at the time, you certainly were here, that you did request that you guys get a chance to review the 50-foot requests, okay?
Feet from the property line.
It'll be 12 feet on the sides from each property, and I think that plat will actually show that.
And is
12
that
feet.
like the house that's over here on Dillard Street, the last one that we,
It's gonna look a lot like that, yes, sir.
okay.
And have the 12-foot on each side.
The house that I live in probably only has 25 feet between my house and the house beside me.
We like to recognize, or at least I, as the zoning administrator, like to recognize lots of record. We don't wanna take, these are infill lots, so it's just 1894, they 25-foot lots were the rage, I guess.
Right.
And, but we do recognize that we wanna maintain the setback as if it were a full-size 80-foot lot. So he's proposing the 12 feet, and we're asking for a variance. Gentleman's asking for the variance of section, I believe, 5-1, if I'm not mistaken, which is side yard. Oh, there you go. Is that right? 5-8.1? There you go. And what that is it says that a side yard setback will be 15% of the frontage,
80 foot.
which would be 12 feet. But, okay, 15% of 50 feet is 7.5 feet, but he's proposing the full 12, okay? And I think BZA wanted to act on these and get these in consideration on these 50-foot lots.
Individually.
That's why
Now-
we're here tonight.
How was that gonna affect the rear?
Well, the rear is still 25 feet, and there's plenty of depth in these lots. I can't remember if the alleyway is closed or not, but at a minimum, the lot is 140 feet wide. Many of these blocks had alleys, some have been closed, some have not. So
I think you would have about,
this is still showing a 20-foot alley, so I think you're at 140 feet. In fact, the plat shows 140 feet.
So would, because I've been riding up there looking, so the alleyway hasn't been,
Developed.
right,
It's woods.
You're right.
yes.
But it is, and the plat is,
see here.
and the, excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
And the plat is showing that the 20-foot alley is still valid.
Okay.
It's gonna be like a rental property?
I can't answer that, I don't know the answer, but we can get,
It's single-family homes. is what we're
Single
Yes.
family, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and I think Jennifer even received a copy of his, the style of the home. Yeah.
Of this, yeah.
Yeah,
Be done.
that's it. Behind the house.
So in the R2, you're required to have 35 feet in front, not including stoops, porches, and handicap ramps. When we say a porch, we don't mean what you're seeing here. We're talking about, you know, 3x3 stoop or landing to go into a house, okay? So this house will have to meet that front setback in line with the adjacent, okay? And then in the rear, the R2 requires 25 feet in the back, and you can see by that plat, there's still gracious plenty of rear setback line. With the side setback, and as a standard, I'm telling developers, meet it as if it were a full-size lot, which is 12 feet, and that's what he's proposing. So instead of it being wider than it is deep, he's making it narrower and deeper.
So it's gonna be 26
And he is the
feet.
contractor that has built all of those new homes over there across from BMAC.
Okay.
They're nice looking.
So the ones across from Bumax, but not the one that he's about to build now, because there's two already there, right?
He's building those.
You built those, okay.
So the ones that are on Fourth Street and then the ones that are on Third Street, he's built all of those.
Okay.
And he does have a permit to build 2 more homes, perhaps a third, depending on the outcome
Yeah.
tonight. But 2 more permits have been issued, one on Fourth Street on the corner. If you notice, there's a dirt pile
And the curve,
right on the intersection of Amelia Avenue and
okay.
Fourth. There's a
Right.
undeveloped lot.
Okay, yeah,
There is
yes,
a permit
yes,
issued
yes.
for that one. And there's another issued on Third Street where they're clearing those lots right now. Cutting the trees down, pushing stuff out of the way. That, there is a building permit issued for that because he had 75, he had 3 lots, and he didn't have to go through the process. Okay?
And
Don't
so the
wanna
houses
be-
you currently built, what are, so you said this is gonna be 26 foot wide?
Wide.
What are the ones you've been building?
Let's see, the one on the corner to the left of it is probably 30 foot wide. That one's kind of a longer house as well, similar to this one. The house to the right, I think, is 42.
So he's adjusting his plan, but I think your point is a good one. And another one that looks very similar, if you go up on Second Street, C&M Builders is building one right directly across from Carolyn Williams right now. And that also, but he had 75 feet, but since he was on a corner lot, he has an exceptional side yard setback. And then the 12 feet on the other side.
Okay, up on the
But
next
it's
street
gonna
of
look-
Second Street.
Longer rather than,
Okay, right beside the church is where you
Beside the
talk.
church.
Okay.
that would be a second one to look at, but the one on Dillard Street is gonna be very similar to what we're talking about tonight.
so your last name is Bentayga?
My last name? Hall, H-L-O.
Oh, okay, so it says.
Bentega's a
Bentayga
corporation.
Properties, So I didn't know.
Ben,
4H Construction is the contract.
I got it.
the Bentega is the owner of the property. Which is that you or Dennis?
Dennis.
You've heard of Dennis Wrap, WJ Wrap?
Right, yeah,
They renovated Pizza Hut.
yeah.
They've renovated the Barrel Grocery Company building, do some really nice stuff. I think they're gonna start working on the, BB&T Bank and, Dennis,
They did the nursing home too, right?
nursing, Clay's Rest Home.
Okay.
So
Same-
this is not your property?
Right, right.
He's just acting as the agent on the application.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I will say they don't build anything, like they don't spare expenses. They try to build nice things, so.
Did you guys build the townhouses on Dillard Street? You guys built those, Did Dennis still own those?
Yes.
Okay. You know those 12 townhouses that are on Dillard
Right,
Street?
okay, they-
That also is in the portfolio with the same group.
Okay.
What's gonna happen to the BB&T Bank?
I bet he's gonna do something fancy though.
Housing?
I haven't seen that, but I think the retail side, something retail or something commercial on the first floor, certainly. The second floor is kind of smaller up there. It's not a big area, but in order to do housing on the second floor, he's gonna have to come back to the planning commission and the town council for a request for a conditional use permit. It's pretty specific in our ordinance that second floor and first floor housing in the GB, which is our general commercial district, which includes downtown, has to have a conditional use permit.
The BB&T.
And then that's gonna be in the historical
Right.
district too.
That building right there, it's got a second floor?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
All of these buildings downtown, pretty much, don't they?
Pardon?
All the buildings downtown pretty much have a second floor,
For the most part.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
I would say not all of them have apartments, some do. Certainly the ones that are over here on Broad Street have apartments on the second floor. I think there was a permit issued to the Chinese restaurant to put apartment on the second floor. The folks that bought Trend,
Yes.
there's an apartment on the second floor of Trend, and I think there were a couple other issued, including,
Talking about Pearl Chinese?
pardon? Yeah, there was a conditional use permit or special exception permit issued for residential on the second floor. And if you notice, they poured a concrete slab in the back because they're supposed to provide parking. And that's why they poured that slab. So,
Okay.
So I
you have any
guess-
questions of me?
No.
Do you have any questions of Keith? He's available. If you have any other questions.
Anybody here have any questions?
I don't think so.
maybe we're going, do you think that we're gonna be talking about a variance on the corner when you go to that third house that you're gonna build?
We can't discuss that because it hasn't been put in, right?
No, it shouldn't need
Okay,
any kind of variance.
Now, remember, a
This is the
corner
only-
lot requires a 35-foot setback, and this body did, you know where, oh, what is her name? Very nice lady, lives in a green home, kind of across from where he's working right now.
is it Miss Carrie Epps? Or the late
Carrie
Carrie
Epps
Epps?
is exactly right. If you remember, the BZA did grant a variance to that
But-
property right next door because they had 50 feet and that 35 wasn't gonna
Yeah.
work, so there was a
Okay.
setback variance on that one, but, it's just a hot little corner down in there, and people are interested, and properties are coming available, and, people are buying them, and
But the house we're building on the corner presently, it met all the requirements, so
Yeah.
it's not.
the one he's got under construction had the 35 setback and the 12-foot.
Okay. So, and that's Mr. Hall?
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything that you want to say to us? reference
Just,
to that.
we'd like to keep progress going over there in that area. We've had a lot of success with those houses over there, and,
So this is gonna be.
we did design this house, to fit, to give it 12 foot on each side, so you would have enough room. That would be similar to an 80-foot wide lot. We try to take that into account to give you the same amount of yard on each side, so the house is not right on the property line.
26-foot wide.
So I need to acknowledge, is there anyone present to speak for or against?
So
This
we're opening
prop-
the public hearing,
Excuse me?
we're opening the public hearing.
Opening for the public hearing. Is there anyone present to speak for or against this piece of property being developed? Hearing none, seeing none.
And I, just wanna confirm, I did mail out the adjoining property owners and let them know what was going on
Okay.
as well. No one, did anybody reach out to you?
I have not got a call. I've not had anybody question. But the adjacent properties, so you know, for the newbies, state code does require that all adjacent properties receive public
Certified
notice. And
letters.
so anybody that abuts him, or even across the street or diagonal, we always send a letter.
And I sent
How many
it
were
to
there?
6 people.
Okay. Hearing none, seeing none, I hereby close the public hearing. So, council, we're ready for a motion?
A motion that we accept, this variance request.
I second it.
It's been properly moved and second that the variance motion. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? So the motion is carried.
And if I could get a motion, I sent y'all minutes last week, trying to get caught up. And so if I could get a motion to approve the minutes from March 28th, 2022, June 28th, 2022,
What'd you say?
August
Hold on,
22nd,
you're going too fast.
2022, and April 24th, 2023.
Can you read the date back there?
Can you read the dates again?
Yes. March 28th, 2022, June 28th, 2022, August 22nd, 2022, and April 24th, 2023.
And even if you weren't on the BZA, you're still allowed to vote on the stuff.
Yeah.
And it probably caught some of you new ones up that were not in the minutes.
Exactly.
If anybody read them.
Yeah, that was in the email.
So
So,
can I get a
Okay.
motion to approve
I will
those?
accept a motion on those past, minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from March, June. Do you need dates? Do you need me to give you
I read
dates?
them all out to you.
Okay, June. And what was the,
August.
August and April be approved.
Thank you.
Second.
I second the motion.
Okay. It's probably, it's been properly moved and second that the minutes from the last 4 meetings be accepted. We voted, right?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried.
I'd just like to remind you that, we're drawing near, and I think Mr. Bagley has agreed to go to this training program that we
Right.
sent to you guys. And if anybody has a change of heart or is interested or
It's
can.
tomorrow.
Yep,
okay.
yeah,
Yikes.
It's upon us, so.
yeah.
He'll be
And
leaving
you're
in
a lover.
your-
I've been through it 30 years ago and went to it and thoroughly enjoyed it. I still keep it on my resume.
I wish I could have
Well
gone.
done. And get a chance to meet Mike Chandler. He is still teaching that course, still 30 years later.
Oh, gosh.
He's a Virginia Tech professor and he knows the
He don't even have to look at
Is
nothing,
like
he
an
know
all
it
day
backwards
thing,
and forwards.
Michael, you're going all day, or you have to go, cause I thought it was like several
It's
weeks.
2 days.
A day and a half.
Yeah,
So you
day
go
and
a full
half.
day and then a half a day the next day, and then you have to study coursework until you go back to the closeout.
and then you go back for a day or day.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll have to check out the next one. I don't know, when is my turn up?
4 years. And I guess we need, if you are elected, I guess we need to check, I don't know.
Yeah,
I would think you can still do it, but we'll double check.
Oh.
Make sure.
okay.
I think you're entitled to still be on the BZA. I don't think it would preclude you from doing it, but
She's
whether you got
running
time
for
or.
board of supervisors.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Great.
You have any questions about development, anything going on? I know I'm driving Jennifer crazy because I'm extending this thing, but.
Cause you all over the place?
Yeah, literally. Well, I just want to say, Mr. Hall, keep up the good work and help
Yeah.
us beautify our city, cause I'm all about that. I wanna turn Blackstone into the type of place that people are proud of or wanna move to.
No, absolutely.
If you get bored, drive through East End, because we're nearly finished over there. Check out the streets and roads and
Oh,
paving and
good.
stuff that we
Yeah.
carried around. But go down there around Garrett Moon and Pool and take a look at what we've done. And the pavers are gonna finish some
Oh, good.
sections where they're doing tar and gravel, separate contractor. But
Lot going on here.
You know, I need sidewalks in my
job.
area so those people can walk up the street.
well, I'll be honest with you. I know we talked about it when we first got into the project, and a lot of folks, boy, sidewalk is a tough sell.
Really?
It used to cost money. The property owner had to pay half, but council has changed that
Mm-hmm.
requirement. Boy, a sidewalk is still a tough sell. Not a lot of folks want people.
In front
Yeah.
of their house.
Yeah.
I don't really want one in front of my house because I have a historic house. And not that they didn't have sidewalks, but I don't know, it wouldn't look right.
Yeah.
And it's also very expensive.
Curb and gutter
Yeah,
is 50% of property owner's responsibility. Now, in these grant areas, we waive that cost. because
yeah, but
they're
I don't
grant
get
money.
waived. And that's
You
another
typically
reason.
would not get waived, but Billy just put it down on the Virginia Avenue side of his
Right.
house, and he didn't have to pay it up front, but he does have a deed of trust that is recorded at the courthouse securing it. If
Right.
he ever sold the property, he'd have to pay the principal amount.
If you wanna pave my whole front yard and turn it into a park, so I don't have to cut grass.
Oh,
That'd be all
turn
right.
into like
A park.
a court.
He's volunteering to have a playground at his
Yeah,
house.
there you go, there you go.
I see some people working on the Velvet Textile building because the holes coming in that roof again up there.
Uh-oh.
They are working on the roof, and we've been in communication with them. We gotta be a little thoughtful, because at the next council meeting, we've already got a contested blight matter
High Street.
on the, Dillon Crawley building
Yeah.
going on. That's,
The
we're
what?
gonna have
Which
a
building?
public hearing for the
Dillon
council to
Crawley.
authorize
Which one's that?
the old
Used to be
hardware
Lucky Eights,
store.
I don't know if that was.
Oh,
the
I
one
know
we
where that
did.
is, okay.
That property's been declared blighted by me and by the town council.
Oh,
And now we're gonna have a public hearing in September, declaring the town's intention to use its force of eminent domain.
good.
Reason I gotta be a little careful is because one of the options is, in eminent domain, you can buy it.
Oh,
And I don't know if we can afford that many going on at one time.
right, right.
I don't think it's reached the level of egregious, but it's pretty bad.
Who owns
And
that
we've been
building?
working on it. Pardon?
Who owns that Velvet Textile
Dwayne.
building?
It's a company
Dwayne used to own it.
headquartered out of New York City.
She said Velvet Textile.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't know if you heard
Yeah,
that or not.
that's-
Okay, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Over on
Are
Church
you
Street.
still recording?
They're working on it a
Yes, we're
little bit.
still recording.
But at the next council meeting, also, there'll be 2 more blight matters that'll come before them for declaration of blight. And one will be on Second Street, and the other one is on Taylor Street.
oh.
So, we can tear those down pretty easy. I can't tear down on Gary.
So are we leaving the house alone on Main Street down there?
Pardon?
Are we leaving that house alone?
Well, here's the deal.
Looks like it's got a new roof on it.
Can we close?
They have a new roof. No, it's still open.
I mean, so can we though?
Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, we're done with business,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
and if you'd like to individually discuss, but I think of the four of you standing there still, you need to leave the camera on. Personally.
Okay.
If it's individually, not a problem, but if there's more than two of y'all
Oh.
together, I think logically you would keep the camera on.
Well, we're not saying anything
But-
untoward.
No, if you can come speak to me individually if you like, and I can share with you any of these type of topics, but the blight, we got a bunch of them, and I don't wanna get too extended, and that'll be an extension, that's a
Okay,
big baby if
okay.
we gotta do something.
Did they get it's a new roof on that house, isn't it?
On the
South
house
Main
on
Street?
South Main Street, the roof is new. Council did not blight it. They
Okay.
did not vote to blight it. Now, we can bring it back at some point, but I do not have a motion from council to declare that property.
And people are living there?
So what constitutes it being?
There has to be, it's not unpainted, it has to be the exposure of structural elements for the most part. Siding falling off that sucker.
I
being
have
broken.
that.
Just painting your house is not
No.
enough.
You know.
So, but there is a definition of blight, and for the most part, if it's gotten to the point where you can see structural elements or something's collapsed or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
They do eminent domain
Okay.
on the old Lucky Eights. Do you think they repair it or just tear it down and have another,
That would be repaired.
Have
Oh,
another
Location
hole.
would be
That's a good location for a
have another
business.
Another hole.
town hole?
Town hall.
I
Yeah.
think there are resources
Like
that it
right
could
here
be
with that.
renovated and some things done to it. We've given the opportunity to the property owner for, gosh, we've been messing with this thing probably a year,
Who
18
owns
months.
it now? Dwayne Carter?
More,
sold it,
longer
I'm
than
sure,
that.
right?
Mr. Kofer is still the owner.
Oh, he's still the owner.
Is that the big building next to the jewelry store and all that?
Kind of behind the building.
Yeah, it's derelict.
Yeah. So, hopefully we can come to some arrangement that he'll fix it up. We don't wanna take his property, I swear we don't want it. Hopefully he'll fix it up, but we just haven't gotten any progress in a year plus, and so,
I don't get it.
council will vote to use eminent domain to proceed. Cause if there's gonna be that kind of money put into it, I don't wanna do it and at no charge to the property owner,
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
So we think if we're gonna invest that kind of money, it should belong
It'd
to.
be ours, yes.
Yeah, if you can get
Yeah.
people's money, then we should own it. But he still has an opportunity to fix it up. It's on him. We'll drop all of it if
Is he communicating, saying anything?
I received one letter from him,
Okay.
and I provided that to Tessie, and we've given him copies of appraisals and reports and everything else. So.
Has any contractors have approached you about that building?
Yeah, I've had folks approach me. I don't know dollar-wise if it works terribly well if somebody has to buy it, because it is for sale.
It's been for sale.
Sign
God.
on. Pretty big number. I can't quote you immediately with the listing, but I think it was north of $300,000. That plus the estimates that we've gotten to stabilize the building, it makes it pretty expensive. That's why.
I've looked at it, it's expensive.
It's got potential, it's a cool little building, but it's got a fire system, sprinkler system that's not connected, it's not working, and man, I'm really worried about that rascal kitchen fire, and boy, take a whole block of downtown.
Oh, yeah.
And cause it's connected on Main Street and then comes out on Broad Street
on
too.
this-
so
I
it
think
Yep.
it's
doesn't-
6 privately owned structures that have,
Oh, gee.
Well, it wouldn't have turned off because it was like malfunctioning or leaking or something?
I don't know exactly why it was turned off, but I can tell you, there was probably a pretty egregious leak maybe during the ice storm,
Right.
or one of our polar vortexes, cause there's pipes that are literally
Right.
disconnected, so. Fire marshals looked at it and given instruction on what needs to be done, and I'm not aware of any efforts that have been made yet. So, not to say it can't be, not to say last minute something good could happen, but.
I mean, but so if the sprinkler's disconnected and it's against fire code, makes it a safety hazard for the building and for the connecting buildings, is there not some sort of fine for breaking code, safety code?
Yeah, I'm sure I could do that, but I think the best way to resolve it is to pay the gentleman a fair market value that a judge determines is appropriate and move on, because we don't need continued.
Right. And it's a good location.
Yeah, I think council's decided that it's an appropriate location, we wanna make sure it goes. I don't think a fine is necessarily gonna solve the
Right.
problem. I think action.
You
And
don't think
that
that
may,
would promote
may,
action?
Huh?
You don't think it would promote action?
nothing so far here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anything has to this point. So, Yeah, we've made offers to purchase it at an appraised value, but he has not accepted those figures. We've made 2 offers to purchase it, neither have been accepted. I don't like that as an eminent domain, but I don't know how else to
Yeah.
get moving. And, we've been at it, I would say, between a year and a half without reservation that we've been messing with it. If we can handle it that way, and we can use state funds for the purchase and for the stabilization of the building, then I would be the best.
Okay. Do we have any further discussion? Any more business?
No, I don't think so.
I will accept a motion to close the,
I make a motion to close the meeting.
Second?
it's been probably moved in second that the zoning board of appeals is closed until further businesses are
6:28 PM.
at 6:28 PM.
And I'll tell you, I don't have any other matters brewing at this point, so it may be a while before you meet again.